Shalom, brothers and sisters. We are all created in the image and likeness of God. All created beings have rights that have to be protected. International laws and even the national laws in all countries in the world have outlined some of the rights that every human being should enjoy in their own country. We've had cases where some of these rights are violated, and one of the rights that has been violated is the right to freedom. I am Sister Leonida Katunge, the director of the program on human trafficking for Pan-African Catholic Theology and Pastoral Network. As we prepare to end the Jubilee year 2025, a year of liberation, justice, and renewal, we are reminded of the powerful message proclaimed by Jesus Christ himself in the Gospel of Luke chapter 4, verses 16 to 20, where he says that the Spirit of the Lord is upon him because he has anointed him to proclaim the good news to the poor. He has sent him to set the prisoners free and to set the oppressed free and to proclaim the year of God's favor. These words are speaking to us today as Africans, as we come together as a continent to say no more to human trafficking. We've come together as a continent from east, west, south, north, and central of Africa with one aim: to help free our brothers and sisters who are held captives as trafficked persons in Western Europe, in the Middle East, in Asia, and within the continent itself. And we are doing this in order to have all live free and enjoy their lives as created beings who have rights that have to be protected. Brothers and sisters, I am calling upon everyone who sees and receives this video to just forward as many times as you can, so that as we begin creating awareness to the whole world, and as we begin this campaign against human trafficking, we may do this together, and we may be the voice of the voiceless and carry the candle that is burning all over the world, so that all what Jesus Christ did while he was on earth may be continued in us as we set all free from their bondages. Brothers and sisters, welcome, and let us journey together in the cause of liberating our brothers and sisters who are facing modern slavery as a form of enslaving them and making them not enjoy their freedom and their rights as created beings in the image and likeness of God. Thank you.
Bonjour, chers frères et sœurs. Je voudrais aborder avec vous une question importante pour l'Afrique d'aujourd'hui, la question du trafic des êtres humains. Cette question se présente à l'Afrique sous deux volets. Le volet traite humaine et le volet trafic de migrants. Le premier volet traite humaine, c'est essentiellement la question de transport, de confiscation, de séquestration des personnes, des êtres humains, parfois en utilisant la tromperie, la contrainte ou parfois même la force pour une exploitation économique. Parfois, c'est tout simplement envie d'exploiter la personne dans tous les sens. Nous avons des cas où on fait des promesses de mariage à quelqu'un ou de promesses d'études, d'emploi, du travail, ou parfois c'est sous le fallacieux prétexte d'adoption des enfants. Et à la fin, ça se termine mal. On tombe dans des cas de traite humaine. Il y a le deuxième volet, c'est le phénomène qui est de plus en plus remarqué, observé au niveau de l'Occident, c'est le trafic de migrants. Beaucoup de jeunes d'Afrique, confrontés à la misère économique et sociale, s'imaginent que l'Occident, c'est le paradis terrestre et ils n'hésitent pas à braver le désert ou l'océan pour arriver en Occident. Malheureusement, ces aventures se terminent souvent par des tragédies. Nous constatons que beaucoup de ces réseaux qui pratiquent la traite, le trafic des êtres humains sont basés en Afrique. L'année qui va bientôt commencer pour nous sera une année jubilaire. Et selon la tradition de la Bible, dans l'Israël ancien, le jubilé a toujours été célébré comme une année d'affranchissement, de libération. Voilà pourquoi nous, en tant qu'Église d'Afrique, nous nous posons la question, comment est-ce que la célébration du jubilé de 2025 peut être une occasion, un kairos, une opportunité pour libérer, affranchir tous ces êtres humains de ces traitements déshumanisants. Nous pensons qu'on peut agir à deux niveaux. D'abord, au niveau local, au niveau des pays d'où partent les personnes, en nous appuyant essentiellement sur les leaders de communautés qu'on rencontre essentiellement dans la société civile, dans les confessions religieuses, parce que les hommes d'église, les chefs spirituels, sont capables de mobiliser la population, sont capables d'alerter contre ces fléaux, contre les dangers encourus, et peut-être réussiront-ils mieux à convaincre les gens, surtout les jeunes, à rester dans leur pays et à se battre pour leur bonheur. Mais nous pensons aussi qu'il y a un deuxième niveau, c'est au niveau international. Dans l'imaginaire collectif, comme je l'ai dit avant, l'Occident est perçu comme le paradis terrestre. On croit que c'est le lieu où il y a solution à tous les problèmes. Et aussi, ceux qui sont à l'origine de ces trafics, malheureusement, viennent parfois de l'Occident, confirmant ainsi que l'Occident, c'est le lieu où il n'y a aucun problème, il suffit d'y arriver et voilà, tous vos problèmes sont résolus. Nous pensons que le pays riche, le pays d'accueil, le pays convoité par ces pauvres personnes venant d'Afrique, peuvent aider les pays pauvres qui sont des pays d'origine de ces personnes à les aider à mieux organiser leur économie afin d'atténuer tant soit peu leurs difficultés économiques et sociales pour ne pas obliger les jeunes à partir au loin avec tous les risques que cela comporte. La célébration du jubilé peut être pour l'Afrique un kairos pour remettre au centre de l'attention cette question du trafic des êtres humains qui, au XXIe siècle, constitue vraiment une sorte de recul par rapport à la dignité, par rapport à la respectabilité de l'être humain. Dans ces combats, nous sommes tous appelés à nous engager, nous sommes tous appelés à apporter ce que nous avons, ce que nous pouvons pour lutter contre ces fléaux qui déshumanisent l'être humain créé à l'image et à la ressemblance de Dieu. Je vous remercie.
Hi, My name is Jacqueline Shalin Madime from Kenya. Human trafficking is a new slavery that involves violence and manipulation to the victims, making it a hidden crime. It is a sad state of affairs that little effort has been made by the government, states, and nations to sensitize and educate the masses against human trafficking. According to the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, that is the UNODC 2022 Global Report, indicates that 27.6 million have been directly or indirectly being victims of human trafficking. Out of this, 39.4% being women and girls. It further indicates that 41% have faced sexual exploitation. According to the Kenya News Agency's report, it further indicates that 17,500 Kenyans are targeted annually for domestic work, forced migration, and also to the extreme, they face a lot of hardships, and some of them are tortured to death. We cannot just be in silence and watch our brothers, sisters, uncles, aunties, and family members, and not the extreme, our children, being victims of human trafficking. It is high time that we say no and join masses so that we can be able to speak against human trafficking.
Hello, my name is Delak Mam Deborah Nchoka. I'm from Kenya, Africa. I'm a survivor of human trafficking, and I'm the voice of the victims of human trafficking. I believe that change begins with you and me. Trafficking can be labor trafficking, human smuggling, where people are given promises beyond their expectations. Once they get themselves to those traps, getting out is not easy, but together as one, we can make this world a better place for everyone. So it is better we stand together and end human trafficking. We know that human traffickers or the agencies of human trafficking, they are owned by big fish in the sea, but there's nothing impossible when we are united as one. We can just say no to human trafficking, and human trafficking is now a form of modern slavery where people cannot come out clearly and speak about it, but together as a family we can make this world a better place for everyone if we stand up and say no to human trafficking.
I am Sister Georgina Pemi from Nigeria. There are different ways of trafficking in Nigeria today. We are here today as Nigerians, as African sisters, and as the whole world at large to fight against human trafficking. We as Catholics, we value human life, and it is because of the value we have on human life that we have come to fight against anything that militates against human dignity. So together we put our voice together and we say no to human trafficking, we say no to early marriage, we say no to child labor, and we say no to anything that militates against the dignity of human being. So together we say no to human trafficking. To human trafficking we say no to human trafficking.
Bonsoir à vous tous. Bonsoir à tous ceux qui nous écoutent. Je suis le Père Albert Condé-Modlé et du Burkina Faso. Je suis en mission au Maroc. Je suis de la congrégation des Pères Blancs, communément appelée missionnaires d'Afrique. Alors auparavant, j'étais en Tunisie où j'avais fait presque 6 ans et je suis ici maintenant au Maroc. Je suis à ma 3e année. Je suis basé principalement à Rabat, mais nous travaillons sur toute l'étendue du territoire. Il y a les deux diocèses que compte le Maroc, le diocèse de Tanger et le diocèse de Rabat. Merci.
Karibuni ndugu wa Kristo. Mimi ni Boniface Omolo kutoka Kenya na mshirika wa karibu sana na shirika la Pactpan pamoja na Secam. Leo hii katika jumuiya ya Afrika, katika bara Afrika, tunashuhudia jambo ama swala ambalo ni la kusikitisha la utekaji nyara wa kiholela wa watu. Kwa hivyo kama shirika la Pactpan pamoja na Secam, tunao mikakati ama mipangilio mahususi ya kupigana na janga hili. Na kwa hivyo tunawaalika nyote wa Afrika, ndugu wa Afrika, na kwa si Afrika peke yake, maana swala hili linaathiri dunia nzima. Lakini sasa sisi kama Afrika tuamke chini, tuweke serikali zetu kwenye mizani, na pia tukapata kutekeleza wajibu wetu kama mashirika ya kijamii pamoja na kanisa, tukapata kuelimisha watu wetu na kuleta ufahamu katika jamii kuhusiana na janga hili. Swala hili iwapo tutaliacha liendelee hivi, basi hapa mbeleni hatutakuwa na mwelekeo ulio bora. Tunafaa tusimame kidede na kuhakikisha ya kwamba kila mtu anahisi huru na ako na uhuru wake katika jamii, ili hili janga la kutega nyara wenzetu, tukiwapoteza, tukiwaua, ni jambo la kusikitisha sana. Kwa hivyo nawalikeni ndugu wa Kristo, ndugu wana jamii, tushirikiane kwa pamoja kupigana na janga hili kama jamii kwa jumla. Asanteni sana, Mungu awabariki.
This is Dominic Mulwa from Kenya, East Africa. In collaboration with Pactpan and Secam, we want to say no to human trafficking. Human trafficking is a human rights violation according to UNESCO, and this vice has been there in the 1700 BC, looking at the history of biblical Joseph and the Israelites, and it's sad that we are still talking about the same. This vice is fueled by money-thirsty individuals who sell individuals for cheap labor and sex and servitude. We want to say no to this vice, especially in Kenya.
I am Sister Pascaline Dubam, a tertiary sister of St. Francis, a Cameroonian by nationality. Gone are the days we thought this ill was far away from us. It was in a distant land. It is right here with us, closer to us than we seem to be aware of. Traffickers, if they are not our relations, manipulate and brainwash our relatives. They make them believe fake promises. They talk to them about lucrative jobs abroad. Our relatives travel just to end up being deceived and provided a life less than what they had desired. Many of them end up prostitutes. Many of them end up in real situations of exploitations. The natural desire in every human being for a dignified life is being exploited. The question we should all be asking ourselves is, why are our people running away from home? The greatest number of trafficked people or victims of trafficking, of human trafficking, are from sub-Saharan Africa. Why are these people escaping from home? Poverty, severe unemployment, or gross unemployment. Let us hold hands together and stop this ill. Let us hold hands together and say no to human trafficking. We are capable, and together with our governments, let the government rise up and punish traffickers and punish anyone who has been caught and restore the dignity of all victims. We can do it, and we are in the process to say no to human trafficking, not only in Cameroon, but in all other countries of Africa and beyond. Thank you for joining hands to say no to human trafficking. Thank you.
Dearest friends in Christ, my name is Melin Ogonjo Okina from Nairobi, Kenya. Human trafficking remains a most painful thorn in the flesh for Africa. My own country of Kenya, for instance, is ranked as a Tier 2 level country, signifying it as a major source, transit point, and destination country for victims of human trafficking. Our faith holds that all human life is sacred and that all people are endowed with an inherent dignity premised on the infallible truth that we are all made in the image and likeness of God. As such, we cannot remain indifferent to the fact that many of our brothers and sisters across the globe suffer the worst humiliation and mistreatment when they are carted across borders, purchased and sold like goods. In silence, we remain sure accomplices to the continuing injustice. The psalmist in chapter 82 verse 3 reminds us of our obligation to defend the causes of the weak, the fatherless, and to maintain the rights of the poor and the oppressed. Therefore, in collaboration with the Pan-African Catholic Theology Network, working in conjunction with the Symposium of Episcopal Conferences of Africa in Madagascar, I lent my voice to the campaign in the fight against human trafficking and make a most urgent clarion call to each and every one of you to be the one to make a change. Let it not be said that you were silent when they needed you. Let us inspire and change the world together. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Sister Anastasia Mleba from the Congregation of the Little Servants of Mary Immaculate. I'm currently working in Zambia. You all agree with me that no human being wants to live in slavery. We all want to be free because God created us in freedom and He put that freedom in us. So each and every one of us longs to be free. But are you aware that in this modern life, there are people who are still living in slavery? What am I talking about? I'm talking about human trafficking, or as it better called, modern slavery. Our brothers and sisters are trafficked from our countries, from our homes, and are being taken out there in these continents, Europe and America, and there they are subjected to sexual activities or even hard labor as young as they are. And as being part of the continents that are so much affected, Africa and Asia, we cannot just sit and fold our hands and watch. Every 11th of January, this day has been dedicated to spread awareness or sensitize people about human trafficking. And that's why I'm inviting each one of you to join hands together and let's say no to human trafficking so that we can save more people who are actually on the line of being trafficked and even those who have been trafficked already. So let's join together as we move towards this day so that we can help as many people as possible. Thank you.
Bonjour à tous, je suis Noéla Marie Stéphanie Saïdé. D'origine burkinabé, je suis juriste de formation. Aujourd'hui, je voulais vous raconter l'histoire d'un jeune là, Eric. Eric est un jeune de la campagne qui ne s'est jamais plaint de sa modeste condition de vie. Jusqu'à ce que quelque chose vienne bouleverser tout. Et oui, Eric perdit sa mère. Faute de moyens pour l'amener se faire soigner à l'extérieur. Dès lors, Eric commença à nourrir une haine particulière pour la pauvreté. C'est alors que, mis en contact avec un réseau, il se dit que le monde ou l'avenir serait meilleur ailleurs. Alors Eric s'en alla, en quête d'un lendemain meilleur, en quête de son Eldorado. 10 ans après, Eric n'est pas revenu. Aîné de sa famille, il était le soutien et le pilier sur lequel son vieux père comptait. Eric s'en est allé. On apprit plus tard qu'Eric avait été victime de traite humaine. Oui, la traite humaine existe toujours sous le cieux. Et elle touche tellement de monde et Eric n'est pas le seul. Eric, ça peut être moi. Eric, ça peut être toi. Eric, ça peut être un père, un frère ou une sœur. Alors, resterons-nous silencieux encore longtemps pendant que ces personnes dépourvues de toute humanité vont se laisser aller à de tels actes de barbarie? Il est temps que nous nous levons tous et que nous disions ensemble non! Non à la traite humaine.
Greetings, beloved people. My name is Samuel Eugene Kamara from Sierra Leone, West Africa, in the Diocese of Makeni. I'm here to condemn human trafficking as it is a serious crime and a violation of human rights that involves exploitation of individuals through force, fraud, deception. It encompasses a range of exploitative practices including sex trafficking, labor trafficking, child trafficking, and organ trafficking. People, we are all created in the image and likeness of God, and so with this, it is not good for us to be trafficking ourselves. Let us see ourselves as brothers and sisters created in the image and likeness of God. Let us embrace ourselves. Let us promote love instead of depriving the freedom of one another. Let us all come together as one and fight against human trafficking. And so with this, I am calling on all law enforcers to actually enforce law that speaks against human trafficking so that we all will live together as one and see ourselves as brothers and sisters wherever we are.
Saudações conforme o horário. Eu sou Francisco Cativa Cambuta, sou angolano. Queria refletir convosco uma mensagem muito importante, ou seja, um fenômeno que tem acontecido em África e de modo particular cá em Angola, que é o tráfico humano, que assim é considerado como uma nova escravatura. Muitas pessoas são tiradas do seu país, de modo particular em Angola, são levadas para outros países, assim como a Europa e as Américas, a promessa de melhores condições de vida, mas infelizmente, quando chegam a esses locais, são submetidos a coisas muito feias que ferem a sensibilidade humana, coisas como a prostituição, trabalho esforçado e outras situações que lesam o homem, que lesam a pessoa humana. Sendo nós imagem e semelhança de Deus, devemos dizer não ao tráfico humano, não à escravatura, porque o tráfico humano hoje virou uma nova forma de escravizar o homem. Portanto, dirijo essa mensagem para você, para que juntos lutemos por este mal que tem assolado a sociedade angolana, dizer não ao tráfico humano, porque a pessoa humana tem dignidade, a pessoa humana tem direito e deve ser respeitado, porque o direito que a pessoa tem e toda a pessoa deve ser amada. Portanto, caríssimo irmão, caríssimo agente de mudança, juntos vamos lutar por este mal. E vendo que próximo ano a igreja vai celebrar o chamado ano jubilar, que é um ano de graça. Então juntos vamos lutar para que a graça de Deus possa transformar o coração dessas pessoas que praticam este mal. Juntos, bem-aja a todos e feliz e santo Natal.
I am Sister Judith Chimatra from Zimbabwe. People are being trapped into prostitution, substance abuse, robbery, and other social ills not by choice. Unfortunate situations are being taken as an advantage by human traffickers. In the spirit of synodality, let's join hands to combat human trafficking. Let's be united. Yes, together we can make a difference. To the world, you may be a person. To a person, you are the world.
I am Father Jeremiah Mutuku from Kenya. I'm here to say no to human trafficking. As the psalmist says, for the sake of Jerusalem, I'll never keep silent. Also, for the sake of the world and the dignity of human life, I'll never keep silent. We have to fight human trafficking in all its forms. It is the new way of slavery, and it destroys human dignity and makes human person a commodity to be sold for labor.
There are several solutions to end human trafficking in our society. For instance, organizing a fundraiser and donate the proceeds to the anti-trafficking organization. Encourage your local schools or school districts to include human trafficking in their curriculum and to develop protocols to identify and reporting a suspected case of human trafficking or responding to a potential victim. Let us join hands to end human trafficking in our society.
I'm Justin Gingekyo from the Republic of South Sudan. I'm here to create awareness on human trafficking, which is becoming a problem in Africa, and South Sudan has fallen a victim to that. Most South Sudanese have been trafficked day and night, taken to other countries where they are suffering, they have no food to eat, they are working under conditions which they do not expect. Some are being abused, and it's becoming a problem. Actually, I'm here to create awareness to say no to human trafficking in Africa and in the Republic of South Sudan. Most South Sudanese are being lured into such practice simply because they are poor, they need food, they need education, they need health, they need money.
Greetings from Nigeria, West Africa. To be specific, greetings from Abuja. I am Reverend Sister Duncan Michael. I belong to the Congregation of the Medical Missionaries of Mary, and we have a health facility here as apostolate, and we work in the rural area there among the youths, among the IDPs, and we see and experience people that are victims of human trafficking. And as we know that human trafficking involves the use of force, fraud, coercion to obtain some form or some type of labor or commercial sexual act from their victims. Every year, millions of men and women and children are being trafficked. Nigeria is not exceptional. We are all aware. We know that Nigeria, girls, boys, children are being trafficked. And so today we are calling on all of us in the spirit of solidarity that let us work together and stamp out human trafficking in whatever form or context. And together we can make human beings great as God intended all of us to be. Together we say no to human trafficking. Thank you so much, and God bless us as we work to ensure that this is achieved. God bless.
Salut à tout le monde, je suis le père Alain Moupichot, missionnaire d'Afrique en Algérie. J'ai dit non au trafic des êtres humains partout au monde et plus particulièrement en Afrique. J'ai dit oui à la promotion et au respect des droits de chaque être humain.
Greetings to each and every one of you from Kinshasa. I'm Father Kasereka Mini Wasinkia, a common missionary of the Heart of Jesus. Now in Kinshasa, after some years of missionary service in Chad, and the beginning of this great period of Advent 2024, and the preparation of a great year jubilee of Hope 2025, I would like to call upon all of us, upon our attention as African nations, especially as African church, about the violence against children as part of our work of justice and peace and the equity of creation, the Catholic Church. Let's act together, dear brethren, to end violence against children, because every child observes to feel safe, for instance, at school and in their communities and even in their families, their own families. School violence can have serious long-term consequences on children's lives, even on their futures and the future of all communities. For too many students so far around the world, violence has become a daily lesson. But together, we can put end to these situations, dear brethren. Wherever you are a student, wherever you are a parent, wherever you are teachers, you can help create safe environments where children or young people can live and learn without fear. So let's join our hands together to fight against violence in the whole world, especially at this time of Advent. May the Lord help us to fulfill this great mission of the church.
Bonjour, je suis Dayamba Bendre Roger, sociologue résident au Burkina Faso. Je fais cette vidéo pour me joindre à la campagne lancée par le PACPAN, le Pan-African Catholic Theology and Pastoral Network, et réseau panafricain de théologie et de la pastorale, pour dire non au trafic humain, pour dire non à l'esclavage moderne. Oui, c'est malheureux et dommage qu'aujourd'hui encore en Afrique, certains jeunes, des enfants, sont en esclavage d'une manière ou d'une autre. Oui, le trafic humain bat son plein. Je suis joyeux de rejoindre la campagne et je vous invite également à vous joindre à nous pour qu'ensemble nous puissions lutter contre le trafic humain. Oui, l'Église catholique prône la dignité humaine et c'est inadmissible qu'en tant que chrétien, nous puissions assister à cette pratique en Afrique sans du mot. Et donc, joignez-vous à nous afin qu'ensemble nous puissions mettre fin au trafic humain en Afrique particulièrement. Bonne campagne à nous. Stop au trafic humain. Stop à l'esclavage moderne. Je vous remercie.
I'm Sister Teresa Ane from Nigeria. According to UN Office of Drug and Crime, up to 750 to 1 million people are trafficked from Nigeria. Imagine that plus other people that are trafficked from other countries in Africa. We must come together and say no to human trafficking in collaboration with Pan-African Catholic Theology and Pastoral Network. I alone cannot do it, but we can do it together. We can be like the broom. The sticks are tied together, they make a bunch, and they sweep the house. Africa, our motherland, is suffering, and we must come together to fight and to sweep it clean. Let's come together and say no to human trafficking.
Welcome to Nigeria, a land of vibrant culture and resilient people. But beneath the surface, there's a dark reality. That is human trafficking. Human trafficking is the illegal trade of humans for the purpose of forced labor, prostitution, organ harvesting, and others. Nigeria is the source, transit, and destination country for human trafficking. Thousands of Nigerians are trapped in forced labor, child trafficking, sex trafficking, consequences of human trafficking. Human trafficking fuels organized crime, undermines economic development, and shatters lives. Most of these girls that are being trafficked, if they come back, you will not get them. They are traumatized. They can't be themselves again. Solution, what are we going to do with this? There's still hope. We can strengthen laws and enforcement. We can support victims and survivors. We can educate communities, because if we can be able to sensitize communities, if we can be able to get the people from these communities, they are the poor ones that they will now deceive and get them because of poverty, and they are vulnerable. So those vulnerable ones in the communities, if we can be able to educate the community, educate all those people, sensitize people, create awareness, I think all these things will now be normalized and stopped. We collaborate with international partners like NGOs, all these people. We can collaborate with them to end this, to silence this trafficking. Because if we can be able to do it, it's okay. Now work hard. There are some actions we will still take for this sensitization, even in schools, so that these children will know some of the things that are doing online, that some of them are not good. Some of these children want to move outside the country, and because they want to go outside the country, they don't know the one that is real or not. So there is call for action. What are we going to do? Join us in the fight against human trafficking in Nigeria. Report suspicious activities. There's a slogan in Nigeria that said, if you see something, say something. So don't close your mouth. support anti-trafficking organizations. We have NAPTIP, we have many organizations that fight, advocate for policy change in Nigeria. Please, together we can break the chains of human trafficking in Nigeria. Let's act now. Please, any information, contact the NAPTIP or other organizations or women religious in Nigeria. You can call and say, this is what we are seeing. We can fight. Together we can put this thing to stop. #End human trafficking. Break the silence. Thank you.
My name is Emeka Ona. People call me Chinyorugo. I'm from Nigeria. Human trafficking leave no country untouched, especially Nigeria. In Nigeria, it happens right here, even now, and outside the border. It is close to us than we can imagine. We cannot pretend that human rights does not exist. We cannot turn our back on the victim. We cannot overlook or neglect the vulnerable ones. We have to take action, and nothing but action. And they have to take now. Most importantly, the young people need to get involved in combating human trafficking because it is a threat to their future. If we do not do something now, something worse will happen, and more people will become a victim of human trafficking. Anyone can be a victim of human trafficking. It does not matter whether you are rich or you are poor, whether you live in a rural area or an urban area, whether you are a big or a small, whether you are a female or male. No, I want to support this to end this human trafficking in Nigeria. If you want to achieve all this good, everyone need to work together. We need to work together to end this human trafficking in Nigeria, because human beings are not for trade.
L'esclavage peut se comprendre dans le sens où un homme est privé de toute liberté et se met à la disposition totale d'une autre personne ou d'une entité qui jouit d'un pouvoir absolu sur lui. Nous l'avons observé dans les temps anciens, dans les premiers siècles. Nos ancêtres africains ont été des esclaves, ont été emmenés dans des terres étrangères pour travailler. Ils n'avaient pas la possibilité de se mouvoir. Ils étaient simplement des exécutants. Cette même logique, on la retrouve dans la Bible, dont nous sommes dans l'Ancien Testament. On va parler de la notion de l'esclavage, où un homme créé à l'image, à la ressemblance de Dieu, est sous la domination absolue d'un autre. Mais est-ce qu'aujourd'hui, nous pouvons toujours parler de l'esclavage? Bien sûr. Aujourd'hui, ce n'est plus à la forme traditionnelle. Nous avons l'esclavage moderne. Dans l'esclavage moderne, nous avons ce qu'on appelle entre griffes des agences de société, des agences de nounous logés nourris. Ces nounous en question ne jouissent pas en principe d'une liberté. Elles vivent aux dépens de leur maîtresse et de leur agence. Elles n'ont aucune liberté. Les sorties sont limitées, les expressions sont limitées, elles vivent toujours à la cuisine. C'est-à-dire que leur dignité n'est pas mise en jeu, alors que Dieu crée l'homme digne. Il le veut libre. Raison pour laquelle il a prié un peu moindre qu'un Dieu. Et le récit de la création, le livre de la Genèse nous dit que le lexique de Dieu va changer. Il va dire, faisons l'homme à notre image. Ça veut dire que par amour, il veut que toute la nature soit coopératrice de cette œuvre de création. Au-delà de ce phénomène nous avons la prostitution qui aujourd'hui a des sociétés, a comme des entreprises. Et ces entreprises-là, justement, les prostituées, dans les placements, elles ne jouissent aucun, ça veut dire qu'elles n'ont aucune liberté. Elles vivent selon les humeurs de leurs clients. Elles sont esclaves, en principe, de leur propre vice. Nous avons les addictions à l'alcool, au tabagisme et d'autres produits qui font en sorte que la dignité de l'homme soit réduite. Et nous allons un peu plus loin. Aujourd'hui, nous avons des enfants qui restent toujours maltraités parce qu'ils sont orphelins de père et de mère. Ils sont obligés de vivre avec les parents éloignés. Et là-bas, c'est la misère totale. Nombreux ne vont même pas à l'école parce qu'ils doivent faire des travaux pendant que les autres vont à l'école. Est-ce que nous devons, en principe, nous lancer dans la lutte contre cet esclavage et redonner la dignité à l'homme? Je dis oui. Cette lutte est une lutte noble qui nous permettra demain d'emmener, non seulement attirer l'attention et des dirigeants de l'Église, mais également de notre société, à prendre conscience que l'homme créé à l'image, à la ressemblance de Dieu, aucun n'est supérieur à un autre. Les deux sont créés à l'image de Dieu et les deux ont une dignité, que chacun apprenne à respecter la dignité de l'autre. Alors je nous invite chacun dans sa situation à participer à cette lutte contre l'esclavage moderne pour que l'homme retrouve sa place dans notre société, pour que demain, Dieu ne nous pose pas la question « Qu'as-tu fait de ton frère ?» Alors, je finis par là. La lettre de Saint Paul apôtre à Philémon, je l'aime beaucoup. Saint Paul renvoie Onésime chez Philémon, qui était esclave déjà au départ. Onésime est esclave de Philémon, mais Saint Paul le renvoie chez lui en lui disant « Ne le prends plus comme un esclave, prends-le désormais comme un frère parce qu'il partage la même foi. » Alors que Dieu nous bénisse et soutienne notre prochain.
Trafficking in Zambia is real. My name is Sister Annie Opi, Dominican sister working in Zambia. We Zambian religious and the laity are working together in committing ourselves to fight human trafficking. In our communities, we are engaging ourselves in sensitizing the society, in churches, schools, colleges, universities, even market squares. We are also working hand in hand with the government, policy and decision makers, healthcare providers, and other stakeholders. Together, we can fight to stop human trafficking.
Human trafficking has damaged our children. Human trafficking has damaged our young people spiritually, physically, mentally. Human trafficking is a monster in our countries. We want to fight against human trafficking because it brings poverty in our country. It brings danger in our country. It brings sufferings in our country. It brings sufferings worldwide. So we want to fight against human trafficking. How are we going to fight against this monster, human trafficking? We are going to make big campaigns. We are going to make big walks. We are going to make fundraisers so that we can fight against human trafficking. We are going to make campaigns, posters. We are going to talk on radios. We are going to talk on TVs so that we all worldwide fight against human trafficking. Let us all collaborate. Let us all come together and say, no, stop human trafficking. Together, we can.
Bonjour, depuis Lubumbashi, en République démocratique du Congo. Je m'appelle Fifi Chibidi. En 2022, notre pays s'est doté d'une loi pour renforcer la répression et la prévention de la traite des personnes. 2 ans plus tard, en juin 2024, des experts des Nations Unies sur la traite des personnes et sur les formes contemporaines d'esclavage ont déclaré qu'ils étaient alarmés par les informations faisant état d'une généralisation de la traite des personnes en raison du conflit et du déplacement des populations à l'Est. Nous sommes une fois encore témoins que les normes à elles seules ne suffisent pas et n'ont jamais suffi si nous ne nous engageons pas ensemble et sérieusement pour lutter contre ce fléau qui nous déshumanise et blesse profondément notre dignité humaine. Merci.
Bonne année 2025 à toutes et à tous. Je suis M. Mbala Aimé, journaliste aux éditions Afrique Espoir des missionnaires congolais. Par rapport à l'esclavage moderne, particulièrement ici dans notre ville capitale Kinshasa, nous assistons ces derniers temps à un phénomène qui commence à s'enraciner dans notre société, le banditisme urbain. Il ne se passe pas des jours à Kinshasa sans qu'on déplore cette situation de gangs qui dévaste et qui confisque tout entre les mains des passants par-ci par-là, qui crée beaucoup de dégâts. Hormis ces points-là, nous avons aussi des embouteillages urbains. Kinshasa est une ville qui n'a pas presque pas de route. Aujourd'hui, circuler à Kinshasa devient vraiment un casse-tête. En dehors de cela, s'ajoute aussi les inondations. À chaque fois, comme dit un dicton, après la pluie vient le beau temps. Mais à Kinshasa, après la pluie, c'est vraiment un désastre. Il est difficile de circuler à Kinshasa après la pluie. Pour la nouvelle année qui commence, Nous souhaitons que toutes ces situations changent et trouvent des solutions tant soit peu. Merci beaucoup et de bonnes choses.
Je suis le père Abraham Kofi Amouzou, de nationalité togolaise. Je travaille à Centrafrique depuis presque 5 ans. Il est temps, comme pays, comme continent et comme individu, de lutter contre le trafic humain. Dans un rapport publié par la RFI, venant du département américain, notre pays, la Centrafrique, est connu, bien est mis sous la surveillance numéro 2. Ce document publié le 1er mars 2020 montrait justement que beaucoup de Centrafricains souffrent de ce fléau. Alors notre pays a connu un taux élevé de trafic humain. Et nous savons tous qu'en tant que famille, lorsqu'un membre souffre, tout le membre souffre. Alors nous sommes interpellés à lutter pour que ce fléau cesse de ruiner la vie de nos frères et sœurs. Joignons les mains ensemble pour lutter contre ce fléau.
Hello, I'm Banem Kiborano Jacqueline from the Republic of South Sudan. I'm here to create awareness about human trafficking. Human trafficking has become so big problem right now in our country, where human beings are trafficked illegally and legally in our place, especially in South Sudan. The government is not doing so much to create awareness about that, and the citizens are also not aware about the human trafficking, what is happening. It is just a new way of modernizing the slavery which was there before. It is just, they are just trying to modernize it right now, by where people are taken outside our country. Most of our youth, young women and men are taken outside there in the name of scholarship, in the name of job, and when they are there, all their documents are confiscated. Then they put them under a condition where they're working, they are suffering, and they have no way to come back in their countries. They have no way to connect to their relatives and friends and everybody who they can help, who they can reach so that they can help them. So we are here right now to do campaign against human trafficking, to create awareness. Our youth need to know about human trafficking. The government need to also talk about it and make it something so great so that people can see that there is a change and we really need a change.
Hi there, my name is Mary Diana Enedoaya. I belong to the Congregation of the Daughters of Divine Love in Nigeria. I'd like to bring to your attention the pressing issue of human trafficking. In Nigeria, sex trafficking and forced labor are the most prevalent forms of human trafficking. I stand in solidarity with the church and the global community in condemning human trafficking as a crime against humanity. My message to the people out there is, as you celebrate, I urge you to remain vigilant and watchful so that you don't fall prey to the traps set by these trafficking predators. And please also spare a little time to raise a prayer for the liberation of human trafficking victims. I know I'm not alone in this fight, and so I join forces with advocates worldwide to say, stop human trafficking.
La traite des personnes, ce n'est pas une réalité du passé. Aujourd'hui encore, des milliers de personnes, hommes, femmes et enfants, sont victimes de l'esclavage moderne sous toutes ses formes. Nous sommes tous invités à ne pas rester indifférents, mais à nous engager vraiment pour lutter contre ce fléau qui blesse profondément notre dignité humaine. Ça se passe partout, ça se passe dans notre pays aussi, ça se passe dans nos mines, ça se passe à l'Est. Rejoignez-nous, ensemble, luttons contre ce fléau qui nous avilit, qui nous réduit tous profondément. Je m'appelle Fifi, je suis juriste et membre du mouvement des Focolari.
My name is Father Augustine Ikenna Amuchie. I'm a Fido Denim priest from Nigeria working in Niger Republic. Niger Republic is a strategic niche for human trafficking. Given its geographical location, it bounds countries in its borders in the Sahel, in the Sahara and in Savannah. This means that Niger has boundary with Central African countries, with West African countries, and North African countries. This strategically positions it that many people from West and Central Africa like Nigeria, Cameroon, Benin and other countries takes this route on their quest to migrate to Europe. And this particular graft is handled by a group of cartel. Unfortunately, some of them don't arrive to Europe. They are either sent into prostitution and drug here in Niger, and they have no option. Sometimes some of them do willy-nilly apprenticeship of 3 years, where you have to pay some amount before being redeemed. The Organization for International Migration, in its research, stipulated that 69% of these victims of human trafficking are women and children, girls. So this is the reality in Niger. In one of my research 2 years ago in Agadez, I discovered that many people are victim of this. They were taken with a promise to Europe, only to end up in prostituting in Niger. And once a victim, it is very difficult to come out. Some of them are engaged in apprenticeship of 3 years to pay off their boss before establishing their own prostitution and human trafficking business. The government of Niger has been making effort to rescue this situation, but according to US Department research, this effort is below par because it has become an open graft that many people are involved in it, and so nothing has been done. We don't talk about the psychological damages done on these people, that some of them now take prostitution as a job after having tested it. So it is a reality. Organizations like the United Nations for International Organization of Immigration have been doing a lot, and also our Caritas, and also some of us who are missionary, we encounter these people, do the little we can and discourage them. But it's a difficult situation.
Bonjour, je suis Litibi de l'hébergement du Congo-Brazzaville. Je suis très heureux aujourd'hui par ce message sur le phénomène du trafic des êtres humains ainsi que des organes, vous donner mon point de vue qui est d'ailleurs personnel. Chers messieurs, chères dames, chers frères et sœurs, vous êtes sans ignorer que l'être humain, de sa conception à la naissance, requiert certains droits absolus. Le droit à la vie, le droit à la liberté, le droit d'aller et venir. Ces droits sont instaurés par l'être suprême lui-même, répandus à travers toutes les sociétés, toutes les nations. Car aujourd'hui, il devient urgent. Urgent d'affûter nos glaives d'amour afin d'alerter, de sensibiliser. Cette couche juvénile africaine, souvent tentée à des opportunités, à l'employabilité à cause de la pauvreté qui sévit tout le continent africain. Laissé à la merci de ce phénomène inhumain dégradant qui est autre que le trafic des êtres humains et d'organes, qui est d'ailleurs condamné par les droits de l'homme. Cependant, aucun pays, aucune nation, du Nigeria au Kenya, du Congo-Brazzaville à la RDC, du Ghana au Burkina Faso, du Bénin au Cameroun, aucun pays était épargné par cette paille, malheureusement, qui devient très répandue en Afrique. Alors, chers frères et sœurs, il est temps de devenir les annonceurs d'alerte pour que nous puissions stopper ce phénomène qui fait retarder l'Afrique.
Young people in Africa often have difficulty being able to access opportunity. And this is because their home nations often don't have the resources necessary to give them those opportunities. And so they seek out greener pastures elsewhere in the world. The process of seeking out those greener pastures is what places them in a position of great vulnerability, especially in the instance where it isn't done through legitimate means. This is why a significant number of young people become victim to human trafficking. Hello, my name is Nolutando Onono and I am from South Africa. The realities of human trafficking are scary in nature. It shows our inability to effectively ensure the human rights of young Africans. It is thus extremely important for us to get to a point where advocacy and awareness is at the center of our messaging. It is important that we respond to the scourge of human trafficking by ensuring that all people are aware that it is a pandemic that is continuing to take from the lives of young Africans. And in order to do that, we have to come together, collaborate, coalesce, and ensure that we spread the word that together as Africans, we will not accept a reality where human trafficking is at the center of our existence. Join us and be a part of a greater cause to say no to human trafficking.
My name is Michael Jada. I am a Gambian and an advocate for human rights. Trafficking in persons, as written in the State of Human Rights Report 2023 of the Gambia's National Human Rights Commission. According to the Promo Protocol, I quote, trafficking in persons can be defined as the recruitment, transport, harboring, and receipt of persons through deceit, threat, or use of force for abduction or abuse of power for exploitative purposes. As a nation in West Africa and a tourist destination, registrations help to prevent trafficking in persons. Examples of these laws are the Tourism Offensive Act 2003, with penalties of life imprisonment and fine, the Children Act 2005, and the Traffic in Person Act with the establishment of the National Agency Against Trafficking in Persons, also known as NATIF, in 2007 to combat human trafficking. Areas where human trafficking often occurs are the irregular migration, also known as the Bagway Syndrome, to Europe, false job advertisement leading to international labor recruitment, sex trafficking from the sub-region, and even negative brain drain as a challenge for development. In solidarity with advocates, survivors, and victims, creating awareness will go a long way by avoiding the silent syndrome. Finally, with the aid of anti-trafficking hotlines, I believe that all voices will be heard loud. My prayer is that Saint Josephine Bakita intercedes for all victims of traffic in persons. Amen.
My name is Nico Kialo, a social media influencer from Kenya. I'm here to speak about human trafficking. It is so unfortunate that in the 21st century, we still speak about human trafficking. We have particular people who are benefiting from violating the rights of others, and that's why as social media influencer, I'm using my ability positively to speak against human trafficking. In collaboration with PactPan and SECAM, we say that we must eliminate human trafficking from our society. We wish to have a free society from human trafficking where every person can enjoy their rights, their freedom, and can also witness their destiny shine. So let's come together as the youth to eliminate human trafficking in our society. Hi, as Nico Kialo, I say we must eliminate human trafficking from Kenya and the world.
Salut, je suis Eric Ramorowende Ouedrao du pays des hommes intègres, le Burkina Faso. Je suis anthropologue en initiation, membre du réseau PACPAN. Savez-vous que de nos jours, dans nos différents pays et dans nos villes respectives, il existe toujours des actes de crimes contre l'humanité? Je vais vous parler de l'esclavage moderne et du trafic humain. Même si des sources officielles ne déclarent pas ainsi, ne soyez pas sans connaissance que des filles sont trafiquées de pays en pays, de frontière en frontière, de ville en ville. à des individus pour les faire livrer à la prostitution pour des contreparties minables. Des filles sont victimes de mariages forcés. Des filles travaillant dans les maisons comme filles de ménage, d'autres filles travaillant dans les entreprises comme des stagiaires et autres comme des employés sont abusées sexuellement. Il y a le cas aussi des aventuriers, de nos jeunes aventuriers qui sont victimes du droit étranger. Ces jeunes-là travaillent à des heures irrégulières, travaillent sans repos, sans relâche, sans le moindre centime, tout simplement à cause de la couleur de leur peau. Il y a aussi des mineurs qui travaillent à des heures irrégulières. Il y a des mineurs qui sont menacés ou appelés à rejoindre à des réseaux de grand banditisme, à faire la guerre illégale. Étant membre du PACPAN, promoteur et acteur du changement social, promoteur de la dignité humaine, je lève ma voix pour concilier à celle des vôtres, pour qu'ensemble nous puissions dire non à cette exploitation de l'homme par l'homme, à ce trafic humain et à l'esclavage moderne qui sévit toujours dans nos sociétés. Ensemble, disons non à ces fléaux.
And I'm doing this video to talk about human trafficking in the Gambia. Human trafficking involves the use of force, fraud or coercion to obtain some type of labor or commercial sex act. Ongoing activities in human trafficking, women and children in the Gambia as forced labor and prostitution. The Gambia is a source, transit and destination country for this type of exploitation. Within the Gambia, women, girls, and to a lesser extent boys are trafficked for commercial sexual exploitation as well as for domestic servitude. Mainly we have two methods used to lure victims into trafficking situations in the Gambia. Firstly, education. For generations, parents sent their sons to live with marabouts or Quranic teachers who more often forced them to beg than to ensure their progress in the religious studies. The Gambia's porous borders. Our borders are being used as an activity transit zone for women, girls, and boys from West African countries, mainly Senegal, Guinea-Bissau, Nigeria, Ghana, and even Benin, who are recruited to exploitation in the sex trade. In particular, to meet the demands of European tourists seeking sex with children. Most trafficking offenders in the Gambia are probably individuals who operate independently of international syndicates. In 2003, the Organized Crime Index noted that the commonness of crime had gone down over the past few years, but there is still crimes recorded along our borders such as paraphernalia. The Gambia prohibits all forms of trafficking through its October 2007 Trafficking in Person Act. The Gambia's 2005 Children Act also prohibits all forms of children trafficking, prescribing a maximum penalty of life imprisonment. Human trafficking is an act that should be prohibited around the world. So I urge you all to join me in this campaign to fight against human trafficking.
My name is Sister Virginia, Oblate Sister of the Assumption. I work in Arusha, Tanzania. Human trafficking, it is a modern slavery. It is not far away from our homes, from our societies, from our country. The whole world is crying for human trafficking because it is against human rights. We have been created by the God's image, but this image is being distracted because of the activities done by these human traffickers. Despite of these human traffickers making a lot of money by using their fellow human beings, for us, we want to join efforts of individuals and organizations which are fighting against human trafficking. Let us join our hands together to fight human trafficking through creating awareness. Because in the society we are living, many people are not aware of what is happening. That's why they become trigger of human trafficking. Through education, we can stop human trafficking.
Warm greetings from Uganda. I am Florence Kevin Kwesigabo. I work with the Uganda Episcopal Conference in the National Family Office. We are on a campaign this time to stop human trafficking. We have done campaigns before on domestic violence prevention campaign. We have done a campaign on women empowerment, but this time during the 16 days of activism, we want to focus on campaigning against human trafficking. We are going to do it not only now, but we are going to continue and even up to the climax next year when we host the World Union of Catholic Women's Organization. We are going to talk about this in our homes, in our schools, and everywhere until everybody is reached about this vice. We are in collaboration with the Pan-African Catholic Theology and Pastoral Network in Uganda. All the bishops are behind this campaign. They focus on strengthening family units. We are talking about strengthening family units because if we don't strengthen family units, this is where all the people are recruited from. Children are recruited from non-functional homes. That's why we are saying that we have to focus on strengthening family units. Let the mothers be able to take charge of their homes. Let the fathers, let the men help their wives. Let the home be a place of peace. If we don't do that, we are going not to succeed in campaigning against human trafficking. We have to focus on strengthening our families. We have to ensure that everybody is guided. The young people are protected. The youth are guided. And we thank God that we are using the church structure, so there will be nobody left behind.
I'm Reverend Sister Robin Sisei from the Congregation of the Tertiary Sisters of St. Francis. Human trafficking is the unlawful acts of transporting or coercing people in order to benefit from their services, typically in the form of forced labor and sexual exploitation. I work with the internally displaced persons and the refugees, and many of them are being pushed into forced labor and exploitation. It has been very difficult to help them out of these situations because it is from there that they have their daily bread. Together with my team, we have decided to go from school to schools, talk to young people about human trafficking, talk in churches, put posters, call for seminars, and if possible, sort out the victims and empower them so that they can have something to it as self-reliance.